Let's continue with the Excel visually videos. And this is a set of fun little skills that you can learn quickly and make your spreadsheet look really nice. The first one will do a cell alignment, and you already know this, okay? You already know this. I'm back on my extremely zoomed in spreadsheet so you can see it easily. I'm going to zoom out in just a second so you can see what it looks like on a normal screen, but I want you to be able to see the instructions. And alignment, remember, means where it appears in the cell. You can have left, centered, right, or aligned, like a book. You remember this. You learned it in Word. Well, now we can also have top, center, middle, and bottom at the what fun. So we'll just demonstrate those quickly. This on the home tab in the alignment group, which you can't see with my zoom, is where all the aligns are. It's the same place as wrap text. So let me zoom out. I'm doing Control minus to zoom out. Let me see if I can get out far enough to get the words. Not on mine. Mine doesn't. On my desktop version, I get little words that would say alignment group. So it's okay. It doesn't matter. So home tab, and this, I can recognize it. It's the alignment group. If I hover my mouse, it will say align. So I know that's where I have to go. And I'll click the drop down arrow. Since I have to use the arrow anyway, what's the difference? And when I drop the arrow down, you can see that I have, here is the left, centered, right, and top, middle, bottom. Let me just zoom in for a second, way in, so you can see that. Cute? Yeah, cute. There's also increase indent and decrease indent. That's kind of like a tab key inside the cell. And in your book, that's in the tips section, so I'm not going to do it, but you can play with it. It just hops it over just a tiny bit. It looks really nice. Let me choose left alignment, okay? And here you had centered. Here's right alignment. And remember what we did was merge and center. So we did two things at once. Um, I will, this lesson's coming up, but here, let's do it anyway. I want to make this row height taller. And you know that one way is to use wrap text, but we don't need to because it's not that wide. So let me force it. If I take my mouse between the 1 and the 2, and I get the two-headed arrow, I can click and drag down a bit, and that will make that row taller, you see? And now then I can go up and I could do, where is it? Here's top and middle, which is the default. Default is the way it is unless you change it. And bottom. Those are fun. And that was pretty easy, wasn't it? Font and size, that'll be easy too because we already know this. Right now I have something called Aptos Narrow. Again, I'm on the home tab and I'm in the font group, but mine doesn't show that word. So which kind of font would I like? I don't know. I'll scroll down until I see something. Just so you know, me, when I'm doing something like an example or I want to make it different, this Comic Sans, it's so cute. It's a cute font. And for me, if I'm typing instructions and I want to, you type this exactly, type this. I'll use Courier New, which is the old typewriter font. And there are some fancy ones. You can download more online if you don't like the ones they have here. Well, I'm going to choose this Source Sans Pro Black just for fun. Hello. Let's see. That's so tricky. I tried to use it. I had to stop at this Source Sans Pro Black. Well, apparently it's not in my computer, so that's why it didn't change. Like, What's the matter with it? How about Arial Black instead? Arial Black's always, everybody has Arial Black. And now you see how big it is? And, and I can change the size. I could make it smaller. And do you know that if you don't like their numbers, you can make your own numbers like here, let's make it size. Now I have 48. My intent was to make it 4, just 4. It's being fussy with me. Oh, it won't let me go that small. You can do that on the desktop version. Anyway, you can, so what are you going to do? You can change the size, the font size to something you like. And it, so I'm not saying anything. Here. So here's size 16. 16 is a really nice size for a heading, typically something like that. And then your regular font could be 10 to 12. What they have here right now is 11. And you could go to the whole spreadsheet and select it and go to the home tab and set a size for the entire spreadsheet if you wanted to do that, just for fun. So here we have these numbers, but we could pretty well guess their money. And just as we could do other formatting when we were in Word and we did the font size and which font to choose, we can change the number format as well as text format. I'm going to click and drag to select all of these cells. I went diagonally. And if I go up on the Home tab, again, I'm zoomed in so far that I can't see much of anything. So let me click more options and I'll go down to this is the format group for the numbers. And there are two ways to do this. The first way is they have a set of common ones that you can access from the top. There's a drop down menu. And then they also have some common ones that are listed here. So you could and even like you want American English, you want English pounds, you want euros, so you can choose what you want. And I'm using accounting format. It's the type of what type is it? It's a number. It's not general, it's like letters. Currency is numbers. I could do that one too. Accounting. There's a difference between the two. I don't think you care. It's where they put the dollar sign and that's okay. So let's go to, I'm going to use the accounting format of English. And it put the dollar signs in there for me. And it put them right beside the numbers. That's the difference if you care. But oops, oh my goodness, what happened here? What happened here is that my column is not wide enough to hold the numbers. The column is not wide enough to hold the numbers. That's what the railroad tracks or pound signs or hashtags or whatever you want to call them. That's why they're there. And all you have to do is come up to the dividing line between D and E, okay? The dividing line between D and E, you'll get the two-headed arrow, and you can either double click or click and drag a little bit, and voila, that's all it takes. And then on the next page is changing the number of decimal points. Sometimes you don't want any decimal points, and sometimes you want 2 decimal points because it's a number or it's a money. And if you were doing maybe stocks, or if you're doing financial, scientific, something like that, you might need more. So let's go back and try it again. We can change the number of decimal points here with increase and decrease. I'll go down first so there's no decimal point. It goes one at a time. Or I can increase the decimal points. One click for each number of decimals. That's all right. And if the computer ever gets it wrong, or sometimes it might get the wrong format by mistake. It thought you meant that kind of a number, but you mean this kind of a number. Don't get concerned. Just go change the format. Just go up to the number format tab and you can change the number. It's easy. This time we're going to add cell borders and shading. You can have a border or shading inside color inside a cell to make it prettier. That's just prettyfication stuff. It's not required, but it's nice to have some of those skills. So if we click on a cell, I'm going to use the title. And if I look over here, I say, where in the world am I going to find that? Well, it's very common, so I will look on the Home tab first. So far, we've done everything on the Home tab. And, oh, I could find, is it okay if I go out of order? What if I make a, whoops, that's the font color. That's the color of the letters. What shall we make them? Shall we make them green? Here, orange, so you can see it. We'll make the letters orange, and we'll make the fill color. Fill's the name of the not the writing, but everything else inside. That fill color would make it, I don't know what. That looks pretty bad, but you can see it. And notice that you can also scroll down with me here. You see there are some standard colors, which would be according to the theme you've chosen. It's not a lesson for now. And you can, if you had a color and you don't want one, then you can do no fill. And if you want more colors, you don't like any of those, then you can come here and make your own color. There are lots of ways to make colors. But anyway, I didn't do a fill. So let me put a fill in here. And oh, can't read that. That's not too bad. Something like that. But I was going for borders. So I don't see any borders there. Let's come over here to that more button and we can say, what in the world might we want to be able to do? Oh, we might want to format a cell. Format a cell, that kind of makes sense. And okay, let me look in this. Oh, there's the row height and width. We did that the other way. And oh, hide and unhide, that's good. That's useful too. Not this lesson. Rename the sheet, that's a good idea. We didn't even have that lesson. Oh, how about format cells? Okay, let's try format cells. And now it says, what would you like to do with your cells? How about the border? I'm doing this to show you the thinking process that you can use if you want to do something and you can't find it. Because honestly, I don't use this version. I use the downloaded version, but we need to do these videos. So I'm showing you my thinking process that I have to go through. All right. So that's why I'm doing that. Now there are some there. Look at the tabs. I could do things with numbers. I could say, oh, alignment. I could make it fancy indent. Advanced. Different font things I could do or border. I want border. Which of these pre-made fonts would you like? If or borders, if you like that, just click one. I'm going to click one. If you didn't, there are all other options down here. Change the color. Oh, let me do that. Here's a thick outside border. Can you see it? Let me go over here. Go over here, mouse. There, see? It made a thick outside border. Okay. And then how about, let me make a color on it. See, and I'm still scrolling down, but I'm zoomed in so far. It makes it really hard. Let's put if I put a purple border on it, yes, you can see it. And it even put a little shadow on it. Uh, You can waste a lot of time doing this kind of stuff. So I suggest you get the numbers in first, and then you can go back and play to your heart's content. Again, just as in Word, you can change the style of the cell in this case to make it show something or to do automatic formatting. Here I am back in my spreadsheet, and there are lots of things that I could apply a style to, but one thing that's common, lots of times you make a style, you use a style to format the title. We did it by hand. You could have used a style, and there's one for title. There is one, but nah, let's go on to this one. Let's do January, February, March, and we want to do a style. Now let's see, this is the beginning of Excel. Styles are very common and pretty simple, so it should be on the Home tab. Home tab. Do I see anything called styles? No, I do not. Let me go over to the More button. And now, oh, looky there, Cell Styles. Now, if you have the right size monitor and it's zoomed the right, you may see this as soon as there may be a section for styles, and this would all be there. There are lots of styles here, like headings and, oh, there's a total style. That'd be nice. Here's title, and you could put some colors on it too if you wanted to. We can do, like, we might do, let's do heading 3. It's common because it's just we don't need a big fancy heading, just a little bit of a heading. So we'll do heading style 3. And you can't see anything yet, but when you click off, you can see that there's now, see, we didn't want a stronger line than that. That's why I did heading 3. And these are still, they're bold, but they're still, I'm going to change the alignment here, you know. So where was that? That's on the home tab. That's in the alignment section. Can I do it right here? Yeah, I have it. So do I want to, it's at the bottom. I'll leave it at the bottom, but I'll make it centered left to right. How's that look? Is good. Styles are very handy. Use them for a specific purpose, not for decoration. Use them to help the reader understand what it is they're looking at.